I just found the best AI coin of 2024. We're talking about they have a good founder, they have a very connected team, they have great pumpamentals, and last but not least, it looks like they have good tech behind the entire ecosystem. I'm talking about Qubic. Qubic. Qubic is the coin we're talking about. And I'm going to tell you why I'm so bullish. First, they say they're the first useful proof of work blockchain. When you think of proof of work, you're probably thinking Bitcoin. Think about Bitcoin. Okay, you got all these computers and they're solving like billions of math equations, and whoever can figure out the right math equation gets the big block reward. Yay, we're all celebrating here. And so they use hardware software to generate cryptographic number that matches a number set by the network's difficulty algorithm. So it's like, I have a secret number I'm writing down in this next 10 minutes. Who's going to guess right? You guess right, you get 6 Bitcoin. Well, imagine putting all that work towards solving something useful, aka AI training models here. And so I'm diving into this and how they can achieve true AI power powered by the useful miners. Pretty exciting stuff. So digging into it. All right, so I said it's a strong team. Who are we talking about here? Well, it is launched by Sergey Ivancheglo, and I have a theory. The harder the founder's name is to pronounce, the more bullish you should be on this token. I'm kind of joking, but actually kind of not really. And so this guy invented the first proof of stake in DAG protocol. It's like, that almost sounds too crazy to be real here. And no, I looked up. NXT is the first pure proof of stake coin, launched 2013. Are you kidding me here? And so this guy launched that coin, and then he launched the first DAG protocol. Now, I hold a little DAG, but directed acyclic graph technology here. And so, we're talking about a strong founder. And then now we have his third launch here. And so maybe third time's the charm. You could tell, maybe he was a little too early. I think 2013, maybe too soon to launch a really strong proof of stake coin. And I did a little digging about NXT, and it looks like he used JavaScript and, it did a couple things differently than Ethereum, and he may have just been too early here. And so now this might be the perfect time for him to launch a proof of work AI-powered coin now that we're in 2024 here. Well, let's look at their X account, and I found something pretty cool at Qubic Madrid here. And so this is their big conference that they just had. And they had a bunch of speakers, but what I found exciting was the third speaker was Elena Gonzalez Blanco. She's the head of AI, where? At Microsoft. This was a big deal, getting someone as large as her there. They also had a few other speakers that very, very smart individuals. But I say, when you have the head of AI from Microsoft speaking at your conference, I would say maybe that's a little bit bullish there. We dig in. I want to point out a couple things in the white paper I found exciting because, guys, I'm doing some research here, and the more I see, the more excited I get here. So Qubic is using a quorum consensus model described by Nick Szabo in pre-Bitcoin times of the last millennium. Gives it a Byzantine general's problem. Gets into the weeds of it, and I'm not a developer, so I don't want to bore you with all that, but I want to tell you about the ticks instead of blocks. So they don't have blocks, they have ticks. A little bit different here. There's no linkage of one tick to another. Back to Bitcoin, you think, okay, we got this immutable ledger. I know who transacted every Bitcoin ever. Oh my God, I can look at it, and I download a node, and it takes me days. But once I have that node downloaded, hey, I'm looking at all the things. And so they have ticks instead of blocks, and then the ticks happen within a weekly epoch, and currently happen once every 5 seconds. So these blocks/ticks could be as fast as every 0.2 seconds. So when you're looking at how quickly these ticks can happen, you start seeing some insane numbers like 40 million transactions per second. And when you're trying to think about what AI is trying to accomplish, you might need something that's about 40 million transactions per second. Because look, the useful proof of work model, think about what AI is trying to do, and think about putting all that compute power to AI. The classic example you see with AI learning chess. So it can do a certain thing where it's like, all right, by the time it took me to finish this sentence, AI had played itself in 10,000 matches. And all those matches happen in, a very, very short amount of time to a human. When you're looking at 40 million transactions per second, that's when you can start doing some things like, well, yeah, AI, basically had 1 million conversations that lasted 1 million years. And what was that? Oh, yeah, that was the last, 5 seconds. And you're like, whoa, what? Yeah, because AI needs to do things faster than what humans are used to. So when you hear 11 transactions per second or even 10,000 transactions per second to an AI, that's basically moving like a sloth. It's moving like a snail. You need 40 million per second. I'm probably going to need more than that in the future. One of the ways is possible, no transaction fees. Getting into it, it looks like it's because it doesn't have the overhead of an operating system. They have some unorthodox choices with Qubic, which, unless you're one of these people that can invent proof of stake chains and invent DAG protocols, maybe it might be a little above your head here. But there's a lot of specific reasons they're choosing ticks over blocks and why they're favoring having 40 million transactions per second. And he explains crypto in a way that makes you feel like it's clunky. It makes me not even want to use regular crypto. We're so used to having unconfirmed transactions. Yeah. Mempools. Yeah. Transaction fees, sometimes $200. Maybe replacing transaction fee to speed it up. Punch that gas up. We've all been there. I need the mint to go through. Confirm transactions. That means it worked. I can stop sweating now. And then to make sure it has enough confirmation and is not reorged out of existence and possibly double spent. If you ever waited for a transaction, it's like, got to confirm some more. And you're like, it's been 10 minutes. How many more times do you need to confirm? So it's a little bit old when you start looking at how Qubic is doing things. They don't transcribe every single little transaction. What they end up having is the final balance totals rather than have the giant ledger that might take you days or even weeks to download here. We keep scrolling, so the balance changes without a transaction. So now you don't have to deal with all this extra data clogging down your coin. You're just trying to make a transaction. Unorthodox alert, yeah, not a typo. Account balances change without a transaction. That's because of these smart contracts operate directly on the balances, so there not be a specific transaction of sending funds to A to B. All you know is at the end of the day, I had $1, I gave it to Jimmy, and then we, fast forward, Jimmy has $1, I don't have none. We don't really need to, clog it up with a whole bunch of useless data. And so sometimes it's going to be a good thing, like when you have an AI play itself 10,000 matches in 1 second. You just need to know, are you better at chess now? I don't need to know how you move the pawn every single time. Another unorthodox alert. This coin does not have a decimal point. They kind of did it in the same style of Bitcoin, where there's 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis. You can't break down a Satoshi anymore. So you can break down a Bitcoin, and then your Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis, or 2,100 trillion Satoshis, aka 2.1 quadrillion. And so they just jump straight to, in the trillions range there. So don't have to worry about decimal points. Why? Clogs up the transactions. That is how they're able to get it to 40 million. And they give a lot of examples, with Bitcoin, quadrillions of Satoshis there. They also talk about Doge and, how many zeros it has. So you're going to see some zeros when you're looking at the token's price here. Pulled back up. There's 5 zeros and a 5. And so we had dipped all the way down to 5 zeros and a 2-2, and then essentially did a 5-6x from there. So I definitely think there's still some room to run. But I said there's a secret reason why I'm super bullish. We're going to get on that in a second. I do want to say this is the last thing I'll say why I'm excited, and it's the storing of outcomes of AI training. What I'm seeing here makes this maybe one of the better positioned cryptos when it comes to training AI, using AI in any type of real way, having AI, maybe spin that currency as the AIs talks amongst themselves. Yeah, you have this world where, say you have a bunch of fully self-driving vehicles and, maybe you have to spin crypto to move faster. You got to get ahead to the other cars to get to work, and I'll take the cheap ride. It'll cost me nothing. Or I paid $2 in weird cryptocurrency. My car is zooming along and I get priority here. I think you're going to need these type of cryptos. I don't think Teslas will ever pay each other in Bitcoin. 10-minute block times doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Could see them using something like this. But the real reason I'm so bullish is we got a little alpha here. Hit that like button if you like the alpha that we're trying to bring here. Several centralized exchanges are testing integration as we speak. This is straight from their Discord and their announcements thing. There's nothing related as far as the date, but no date yet. Some are already testing. Some, as in plural, we hope to get more info soon. And if you go back to the coin, this coin is actually not easy to buy. There's only 2 exchanges, Trade Ogre and Safe Trade. So you're seeing a little bit of an opportunity here, you know, before it gets listed on Binance, Coinbase, even, you know, Uniswap. So the degens don't really have their hands on this one. So I can see some pretty good upside, especially since we've fallen more than 50%. And so that's Qubic. Keep an eye out on this one. AI is going to love this. Insane background for the founder here. It's just really can't get more bullish than that. Super bullish on something like this because, you know, when you see the AI power powered by the useful miners, as compute power becomes more of a scarce resource as more AIs are training and they need all the power in the world to train. I think, you know, people start having this type of conversation about a useful proof of work blockchain. So if you want to go to the website, check that out. Check out their iGarth is the AI on top of Qubit. It looks like it's going to be open source for everybody. Any other kind of questions, how to buy it, where can you buy it, what's the difference between proof of work and useful proofs of work? You want to know more about the burn details, check out their website here, Qubic.org. That's all I got, DZ. I'm going to keep an eye out on this one. I'm about to try to sign in on this exchange. I will let you guys know how it goes on next. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out, and I'll see you and your AI tokens at the top.